Well, today is basically going to be a day full of phone calls. One of the things that I do and constantly doing is trying to get work. But for those of you who don't realize it, if you're homeless without a support system, without friends or family to give you daycare, you're pretty much stuck. I'm going to show you what it's like to call child care resources that are supposed to help you, just so you can see what a parent has to go through to try to get help. And this time, with the economy crumbling all around us, it's not going to get any better. And this is something I've been dealing with for several years because people don't realize how expensive child care is, nor do they realize that in order to get subsidized child care, there's some hoops you have to go through, and you have to qualify to apply for help. So I'm going to take you along with me today on some phone calls, and I'm going to show you some pricing on daycares. And we're going to start basically calling DSHS, which is Department of Social Health Services, because they have a program called Working Connections that's supposed to help subsidize child care. And then there was another referral that I got off of 211 that is a subsidized program that's run through the city, and it either supplements or maybe you can qualify for that if you can't get help through Working Connections. So come on and take a listen. Hi everybody, I am actually going to show you information on how much it costs for child care through the Boys and Girls Club as far as full-time care is. Now, I don't know what it is for your particular town or state, but I do know that the drop-in rate for one child, if they're old enough, is $20 a year. In regards to my 8-year-old, it's not going to be $20 a year, plus she's only 8, so she doesn't qualify to be left alone or dropped off by herself for, at a club for several hours a day. I'm going to show you the price schedule that I was able to pull up on the internet on their rates. If you can take a look here, see where it says number of days per week. If it's 4 to 5 days a week, AM care before school is $210. After school is $275. But if you are there before and after school, it's $420 a month. That is for part-time child care only. If this were full-time child care, it's about $840 a month. That doesn't include the $90 non-refundable fee that you pay to get registered. So I don't know about you, but how many of you can afford almost $900 a month in child care for one kid? Imagine what that's going to cost if you have 2 or 3 children and you don't have child support coming in. It pretty much cripples your budget, or any cash that you might get. It's going to go to child care. So how does not having subsidized child care supposed to help people get out from under? I think I got somebody. Yes, I was calling to find out how, well, first of all, if I qualify for a Working Connections child care assistant.
Okay. Are you currently employed or receiving cash at this time?
No, I'm not receiving cash at all.
Okay. You're currently employed then?
No, I'm just, the reason I need to get information is because I have a job interview tomorrow, and I wanted to kind of be prepared if I get this job, even though I've already talked to them and they said it was probably minimum wage. But I thought, okay, if I get this job, then how do I pay for child care?
Okay. So what we are doing currently is anybody who's not receiving cash assistance, who applies, who is going to start work within the next 14 days or currently employed, we can take the request, but we would put you on a wait list.
Okay, so if I'm not getting cash assistance, does that mean I don't qualify?
No, it does not mean you don't qualify. It would mean that you would be put on a waiting list. As openings become available, you would receive an invitation to let you know that we may now take your child care request at that time.
Okay, so it's basically, okay, so then the waiting list, I would, even though I'm not getting cash from the state, I would just go ahead and put in my application, or not put on my application, but I'd be put on a waiting list, and then if an opening comes available and we don't know when that's going to be, then you would process the application?
What our process is that, say, take your request today.
Okay.
What you will receive is, I'll take your request, and then you will receive the notice letting you know that due to budget limitations, we are not able to take your request at this time, and your request has been denied. However, your name has been put on a wait list.
Okay, is that an application I can just get online?
You can go online, or we can do it right over the phone.
Okay, let's see. Okay, how about if we go ahead and just do it right over the phone?
Okay. Can I get your first and last name and client ID number?
Okay, my first name is Carey, C-A-R-E-Y, last name Fuller. And I don't have the client ID number, but I do have my Social Security number.
Okay. So now, did you say you've actually been hired?
No, I'm going on a job interview tomorrow, but I wanted to try to get ahead. If I do get this job, I know for a fact that it's going to be a fair, minimum wage is what they told me over the phone. And then I thought, well, if I end up working 2 jobs, then, if I can get a second one, I got to do something with my 8-year-old for daycare, even for before and after school, when school comes around.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood you, Carrie. I thought you stated that you were already employed and going to start tomorrow. Okay.
No.
So in that case, I would not be able to take your request and put you on a waiting list. What would happen is we would have to know that you're going to actually start tomorrow, that you've already had on a higher date.
Oh, okay. So then, but if let's just say hypothetically, if I were to start tomorrow, you would go ahead and take my application, but I'd still be on a waiting list, right?
Right. Now, say you go to your job interview and they say, yeah, you got the job, they call us right away so we can put you on the wait list.
Okay. And typically, do you know what the waiting list time is, or is there no way of telling?
Well, I'm going to say it's been averaging about anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. Could be longer, it could be shorter.
Okay. So it just depends.
Right.
Okay. Well, I'll be calling back if they tell me I have the position tomorrow.
Alrighty. Sounds good.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so now what you just saw is a reality of many single parents who, how are they supposed to go to a job when they don't even have child care in the first place? They can't afford child care, even to go to a job interview. Well, you can't even get help to pay for child care before you go to a job. And then you just heard for yourself there's a waiting list. Even after they took my application, I'd still be stuck. I wouldn't be able to go to a job because I have nowhere to put my kid. Now, here's the thing, is I don't really have relatives I can just leave my kids with to watch while I go to work, because they're working too thanks to this economy. So, what do you do?
How can I help you?
Hi, I was just calling to find more about your program for child care.
Okay. Can I get your name, please?
It's Carey Fuller, C-A-R-E-Y, F-U-L-L-E-R.
Okay. Give me just a second, and I will transfer you to, let's see. I'm going to transfer you to Mario, who can help you answer your questions and screen you and see if you're eligible for our program.
Okay.
All right, just a moment. Did you say your name was Carrie or Kelly?
Carey, C-A-R-E-Y.
Okay, just a moment, please.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead, Carrie.
Hi, Carrie. My name's Mario. How can I help you?
Hi, Mario. I actually called 211 looking for child care help. There's a couple of places I checked in Seattle that are really high, and they were telling me if I can't get it through the state to go ahead and give you folks a call to find out if I could qualify for child care help.
Okay. Well, let me go ahead and ask you a few questions. We'll see if you might be eligible here, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Do you live within the Seattle city limits?
I'm actually homeless.
Okay. Where are you staying?
Well, that's the thing is I pretty much was staying anywhere from Seattle to the South King County, but I have a job interview tomorrow that's actually in near Sandpoint, which is a little bit past the University of Washington.
Okay. Well, it's not a matter of where you work; it is a matter of where you live, and so it is a little tricky there for you. But let's move on. We'll come back to that part because I need to tell you, since you're mentioning a job starting soon, that we do have a waiting list for our program.
Okay.
Now, you should be able to get a priority status on that list, but it may not happen immediately. Okay?
Okay.
Even a couple of months, but I'd have to see what we can do for you there.
Okay.
So let's kind of back up. Now, you don't know if you have the job yet.
No.
Right? Okay. So we can't even put you in on our list in any way, shape, or form until we know that you're actually working, okay, or going to have a job.
Okay.
Let's go under the assumption you do.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, how many children do you have in home with you?
There's 2, but I have a 16-year-old. It's the 8-year-old that's going to be needing child care.
Right. I just need to know how many under 18 in the home.
Oh, I'm sorry. 1.
Oh, it's just under 18 in the home is only 1? I thought you said you should.
Oh, you have to forgive. I'm thinking that you meant for this program. I have 2 under 18.
Okay, that's what I need.
Okay. Okay.
And is there a second parent with you?
Nope.
Okay. What would you be getting paid if you got this job?
Minimum wage.
Okay. So you would not actually be eligible for our program.
Okay.
Okay. If and when you get the job, you should be eligible for the state program, Working Connections Child Care.
Okay.
Family of 3, they help families who make up to $2,702 a month. Okay, and at minimum wage, unless you're working, doubles all the time,
Yeah.
you're not even going to approach that.
Okay.
So you shouldn't have a problem. Except that they also have a waiting list, and I believe I'm blanking right now. I think that homelessness is not a priority for their waiting list. However, their waiting time is likely only to be 4 to 6 weeks anyway. Now, that may not work really well for you, but relatively speaking, not so bad, of course. So, now, do you get any child support, any other money from anywhere that might...
I get child support of only $150 a month.
Okay, so that's not really going to make a difference as far as that goes. So it sounds like then that once you have the job, and you need to know what child care provider you plan to use as well when you go to apply, and make sure they take the SHS, of course. Once you do that, then you can go ahead and apply and get put on their waiting list.
Okay.
So unfortunately, like I said, you would not be eligible with us then at all anyway, because we pick up where they end. So we help families of 3 who make between $2,703 and $4,632 a month.
Okay.
So there's not really any overlap there.
Okay.
And like I said, we wouldn't necessarily help you any faster anyway.
Okay. I just figured I'd go ahead and call and just find out what I could.
Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, they're not even going to do it until you know for sure you have the job.
Oh, that's okay. I can just call back.
Yeah. But do you have their toll-free number, the 877 number?
Yeah, I do actually. I have a list of numbers that I'm calling today.
Okay. Well, that's going to be the one. That's going to be the one that will help you.
Okay, I'll give them another call.
Okay. Good luck then.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye. What'd you think of that?